Well, all right.
Oh, we're
All right.
doing it. All right.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Shift. We have a few special guests tonight. First, why don't we go ahead with Moira? Is Moira there?
Where's Moira?
Moira.
She better not have lost internet.
Moira! Moira!
We also have David. Where's David?
David! David!
Oh,
Oh,
David!
how about Jody from the block?
Where's JoJo from the block? I don't see her.
We have Barbie.
Jody from the block. Who?
Barbie.
Oh. Why won't my
We have Rosie.
and Rosie.
Rosie!
And Wonder Woman. Maybe here in a second. So, good evening, guys. It's Halloween week. We thought we'd have a little bit of fun and mix it up. My camera's coming one day. Hi, welcome to Thursday Night Shift. And just making a little bit of a twist this week. So, welcome. And we're going to start out with our question for the night. So, our question for the evening is, what is something that stood in your way and how did you overcome it? Who wants to go first?
Okay.
Jody.
Go, JoJo.
Oh, somebody voluntold me anyway. So I actually like this question. I had a discussion earlier that this kind of actually came up. And I think something that has been and still is something that I have to work through, that's something that I struggle with, is myself. I am really, and I've told you guys before, I'm really kind of hard on myself. I don't have a lot of confidence. I try to find the courage to overcome the lack of confidence so I still can find and do those scary things. But when I start to get really down on myself, I can shut right down and just be like, I'm going to go and hide for a few days. So I have to turn to these girls mostly and be like, this is what I'm struggling with. This is what I'm telling myself. And then they somehow find positives and good and lift me back up. So I think that I am my biggest obstacle. I'm my biggest own hurdle, if that makes any sense. So that's it. All right. How about David? I want to hear from David.
David. Listen, I did. Oh, can you see?
It's hard to see. Yeah, there we go. Wait, right there. Yep.
I did dip into all my rings from college so that I could fill my hand like David Rose. So I'm like, oh, this one still fits. Oh, this one doesn't. So anyway, overcoming. So even through 13 years of doing this, there's still certain things that I am my biggest roadblock, or I have to remind myself often that the magic happens outside of the comfort zone. And so, and really, what's the worst thing that'll happen? Somebody's going to tell me no on something. Really? Like that's kind of the pep talk that I have to give myself. So I've tried to really work on overcoming my own assumptions that cause my fear. And I've been coaching a lot lately talking a lot lately about not assuming things for people, not assuming that a product is too expensive, or not assuming that they wouldn't host a party, or not assuming that they aren't interested or don't need this business for one reason or another. And so because I've been talking about that so much, it's reminding myself, and it's keeping me, keeping it top of mind for me, that I can't make an assumption for somebody, and I have to step outside of my comfort zone and ask, because what's the worst that could happen? They're going to say no. Okay. Callie?
I was just saying next is like, what's the worst that could happen next? Not that you would actually say me next.
But you just were so inviting. I just wanted to call on you.
Thank you. So I would say that my biggest, well, I kind of have two, but they kind of go hand in hand, is I have great intentions, right? I buy all the things, I get all the things, I have all the stuff for 12 projects, but it's actually the time management of getting those 12 projects done. And so for me, it's been, and it's honestly still a growing and everyday like attempt. And I don't want to say it's a struggle, but it definitely has to have that intention behind it of what we're going to get done and having lists and finding that system that works for me. Sometimes it's a calendar. Sometimes I just like, I can't even focus on a calendar. It just has to be a list that I can cross things off so that my time management, I can see myself getting things done, because there's a lot of times when I sit down here and I'm like, I know there's 12 billion things I could do, right? But I sit down and I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to work on? Like, I have all the stuff for projects sitting around me. What am I going to do? And so that would be it, is time management. And I've kind of put the place in place for myself. I can't buy things until I finish a project for a new project, like, or it has to be almost complete before the new stuff comes in. So, all right, Moira.
Okay, mine's similar, because I feel like time management is the biggest thing that I struggle with, and not in the sense that I'm not getting it done. It's managing the time where my personal business comes first before I can help anyone else. I have to make sure my calendar is front loaded, that I am sponsoring every month, that my business is taken care of. And sometimes I will always put people first before my own business. I do it a lot. And so I think I have to remind myself, like, you can't be there giving to all these other people before you take care of yourself. And so that's a really hard struggle for me, because I would rather help every single one of you on the screen before I take care of myself. And so I wouldn't have a business without me first. And so I have to remind myself of that. It's a huge struggle, because I do get a lot of things done, but I am putting things on top as fast as they're coming off and completing. So it is a daily struggle, because there's always these tasks that you have to get done and do. And I just keep piling it on. But it feels so good when one gets accomplished. You know, I am that type of personality and that type of business person that I love accomplishing all my tasks. All right, Barbie.
I was looking around like, who's Barbie? Oh yeah, it's me. This question gets like, hits home. I would say it's probably all of you can relate. I tend to procrastinate because I overthink things, or I am scrolling Instagram or Facebook and I get overwhelmed. Like, if you are a leader, or even if you're not, there's groups out there where there's a bazillion ideas, and then I just see everything and I get overwhelmed. So I just stop and withdraw, and I overthink it because I want my own strategy and want it to be my own idea. And then it just becomes this big ball of, well, I'm not going to do anything because I didn't plan it out. And then I struggle daily with brain fog really badly. And it's to the point where when I can't think, I just withdraw. And so I'm sure a lot of you have felt that way, where things are going on in your life and I'm the type of person where I just pull back, and it ends up being not for a couple days. I've been like off Instagram for probably 2 months. And it's nights like this, like the minute I turned on the camera and saw everybody, it's just little steps moving forward. You have to take it day by day. And it's just, even if you can't accomplish 10 things, it's accomplishing one little thing, getting that, you know, and there's some people out there that will have 10 things on their list. Start with one thing on your list. That's what I've been trying to do. One thing getting mail out to my VIPs, or one thing posting on my team page. And that's sometimes a big step, because sometimes I'll sit in my office and not know what the heck I'm supposed to be working on. And then it goes back to the beginning. Then I procrastinate, then I overthink, and it just keeps going in this big circle. So if any of you are struggling with that, those type of things, procrastinating, any of that stuff, just do one thing a day. And then if you feel good and it's a good day, add something else on. Thursdays are always a great day for me because I get motivated by all these ladies. And then Friday's a great day because I'm motivated and excited. And then it tends to trickle into the weekend and I'm back to Monday like, ugh. So it's day by day, one thing at a time. And I think those one things that you accomplish make each day better and stronger as you go along. So Rosie, we can do it.
We can do it. I think mine's definitely a combination of a little bit of what everyone has said, but I do have one particular story that really stands out to me is I kind of counted myself out on some things before I even gave an honest effort. And one big story comes to mind is because I actually had like a coaching call or something with Jason Harwood, or a powwow. I can't remember exactly what it was.
And he was giving me all these tips. And I was just like, no, Jason, I live in a small town. There's no one else in this town that wants to join. I don't want to recruit anyone in this small town. I literally said it to him multiple times. Do you know, I earned that incentive. I earned it for 2. And every single new recruit came right here from in my local small town. I called Jason and said, I have to apologize for my behavior, because I counted myself out, counted out my community, counted out the opportunities that were waiting on me. So it kind of just goes right along. We all kind of get in our own heads. And so that has really stuck with me ever since that happened. I'm like, I'm never counting myself out and never counting anyone else out. Kind of like what Melissa said earlier about, don't assume that someone can't afford or doesn't want to join or whatever the excuse, the list is that we give. And that's definitely, I think, something that I've gotten a lot better about is like, you know what? I'm not giving the answer before I ask the question. I'm going to ask the questions and move forward and hopefully get a positive reinforcement. If not, I'll go to the next person because we can do it. Okay, that's it. Is that everybody? Because Jen's not here tonight, right?
Yeah, Jen is
Jamie,
doing
you are
college
so-
tours.
Jamie is the cutest. I just can't even handle it. You are so cute. I mean, all my friends are the cutest. I mean, can you compete with Moira? But really, you guys are just the best.
No, she really looks like the poster. Like I was like, oh my gosh. When she came on, I was like, holy crap, you look awesome.
Well, thanks.
Well, you're kicking butt as Moira. So
Well, I do have a few sayings I can say later.
oh, I can't wait.
It's been fun going costuming and doing all the things, and we hope you guys are looking forward to a fun holiday weekend as well. So yeah, we're gonna talk through. Well, actually, no, rewind. I copied and pasted something over here. It was from Carrie, and she said it's so helpful to know that as successful as you all are, you still have the same struggles and insecurities as the rest of us. And I copied that and wanted to point that out is because I think that a lot of times, and I'm glad that we're kind of goofy tonight because I think it kind of helps tie in, is I think a lot of times you think that because somebody has a title of director, star director, superstar director, they've done certain things in their business, they've earned an incentive trip, that they have the answers or that everything for them just runs smoothly. But all of us still have our insecurities. All of us still have our issues that hold us in back, or that there's times and seasons where things are going great. Yes. And on the outside, it does appear that everything's looking great. And sometimes they are, but there's also a lot of other times that our insecurities or our challenges, they really like get us stuck in our own way. And so if you're ever feeling that way in your business, know that that's 100% normal. And guess what? It's probably not going to go away. And you may find a resolution, you may find a solution, you may find something that's working for you. And then there will be a boomerang or something that's just thrown in your way. And the next thing you know, you're right back in that mess. And you're like, okay, I thought I worked through this. I thought I got through that. And it comes back. So just know that if you feel that anyway, or you resonated with anything that any of us said, and I saw a lot of comments that did, it's 100% okay. And I think the best thing that you can do is find a way to pull yourself out of it, find a way to get back with your people, find a way to surround yourself with those that, emulate what you're looking for, and just pull yourself out. I know it's easier said than done. I know it's not that easy. I had a month. It's been a month. And Jill, she's had a couple months, right? We all have times and seasons, and we all have to pull ourselves out. But at the end of the day, no one else is really going to do it for you. It's only you. So push through those insecurities. Don't let them hold you in place, and actually just go for it. So Heather, do you think you had your service? It seems pretty good. It seems like you've been fine. Are we ready for this?
Hey, this is the longest this has been on my power. We've had 60-mile-an-hour winds today. So I thought I was going to be getting from my cell phone because I have not had power pretty much all day. Okay, so in the chat, if you will put your own personal obstacle that you are, is it obstacle or just the biggest challenge?
Yeah, what's standing in your way of being successful in your business?
Yeah, like, I'm not going to call it an excuse, but it is kind of with love. It's an excuse with love. Oh,
okay. And also thinking like in your business, right? Like,
right.
What do you feel like is holding you back in your business?
From
so I know
reaching
that
your goal or being where you want to be, right?
Yeah. Okay. Where's reading the chat?
Yeah, sorry, we're going to read.
Me, Gina, that's a good one. Confidence. Self-guessing.
Lack of confidence, time management, myself, motivation, what to do,
Okay.
developing
Alright.
leaders, fear of rejection.
So a lot of it is self-sabotaging, what they tell themselves. Yeah.
So with that, what you think about, you bring about. And I know you guys have heard us say this before, so it's kind of repetitive and redundant, but what you think about, you bring about. And the more that you tell yourself, the more that that's going to be your reality. So if it's kind of like a self thing, if it's a confidence thing, if it's really you have to find those opportunities to just push past it. You have to find those opportunities to bust. Nobody else can do that for you. I guess that's the hardest part of it. We say a lot, your business, if your business will only grow if you do, or if you're stuck, your business will be stuck. I think I've shared this before. We have a leader in our group. I'm obviously not going to say names, but she actually, she was striving to get to a place, to a specific goal in her business. And there were some circumstances that took her to that place in her business. She got that goal. She made it happen. And it was situational, I guess I should say, without giving too many details. It was situational. And she got it. She had the title. She was doing her thing. She was rocking it. And then for whatever reason, all of a sudden she went right back to where she was. And again, I truly believe it's something that she had to figure out for herself. Yes, the situation gave her ultimately what she was going for, but because she was still stuck, because she didn't learn what she needed to learn, whatever she didn't push past, she didn't get past those insecurities herself, she went right back to where she was. And so just know that you can find yourself in situations that are great, but unless you do that work to actually push through it, you may find yourself right back where you were. And so keep that in mind when it comes to some of those self things, the confidence, the getting out of your comfort zone. The only way to do that is to do the thing that's stopping you.
Yeah. And I think you've got to get things prioritized. So I'm seeing a lot of procrastination. I'm seeing a lot of time management. Before you can figure out where your time is going to be spent, what are you trying to accomplish? What is it? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make a bunch of samples that you're not going to hand out? What's the point of that? What are you trying to do? So I think it's important for you to figure out what you're trying to accomplish. So I saw a couple of people put on here that they are trying to help balance their time and build leaders. I saw Kathy Browning put sponsoring. This is where you have to ask yourself, how much am I putting myself out there to create the result that I'm wanting? It's impossible to get your result if you're not putting yourself in the situation to even get that type of answer or circumstance. I mean, if you're not asking anyone, you're not going to get anybody to join your team. If you're not partying, it's not going to be as easy to flip hostesses in the perfect scenario. So figure out what you're trying to do. And then I would work backwards, honestly, and try to figure out like who's on here right now that doesn't mind talking, that wants to unmute when they were talking about time management. Who'd like to unmute? Okay, Lindsay, I saw your hands first. Go ahead, unmute. Let's hear from you.
Hello. So I homeschool our youngest, and we're a military family as well. So my husband's not around to help. So usually when dinner time hits, I'm like, I can't do anything the rest of the day. I just can't. It's family, it's homework, it's, the cleanup, the routine. So after homeschooling my youngest, I have maybe 3-4 hours to work.
Okay.
And I'm more focused on posting.
Okay. And do you think posting is effective for your business?
See, that I don't know, because my VIP group for customers have been crickets.
So would that be a yes or a no, it's working?
But people follow my stories.
But is it getting PRV, hostesses, or recruits?
Probably not as much as I'd like.
Okay, so liking is one thing, interaction's one thing, but it's not moving us in the direction of where you need to be. What's your goal right now with your business, Linz?
I just hit director about a year ago. So I'm trying to find my next two directors, which is hard because pretty much everyone on my team are hobbyists like I joined.
Would you still consider yourself a hobbyist?
Yes, but I have more of a drive than that.
Okay. And have you ever seen a hobbyist turn more on your team before?
Yes, we go in waves. Like I said, I think, oh, these are the next two directors. And then they like kind of go flat, like nothing's happening. And then someone else will like have awesome PRV and recruiting. I'm like, oh, maybe it's them.
So tell me, what do you focus? Because I think 3 to 4 hours is an awesome amount of time to be able to work on a business. You can be very productive, I think. What do you think your priority should be in those 3 to 4 hours to help you get more directors like you're wanting?
So I've reached out and they all kind of just say, oh, I'm just stuck in my own little world here. Like they're letting themselves not grow. And that's maybe where I'm stuck as a leader. Like, I don't know how to help them beyond that.
So how do you think you could help them? Like, what do you think that they need in your opinion? Not without them saying anything, but like in your mind,
Right.
Observing them, what do you think that they need?
We've come up with a plan, but they don't follow through, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. What is it? What's the plan? What's that look like?
They know they need to get parties. They know they need to recruit more and expand, but they're not doing it.
And are you doing it?
Slowly, not as fast as I'd like, but yeah, I need to focus more on that.
Okay. And so if you're going to focus more on that, what's the first 2 things you would do to try to get that focus more in that area? What would you do?
Go back to the last 6 months from the director's event and start contacting more people and asking.
What was so great about the director event?
Just the new ideas of, oh yeah, I need to do that. Like I never thought to look back in the next 6 months of who all my customers were and contact them and just say, hey, I've got this opportunity, host exclusive kit. Are you interested? Or I've got some openings. Would you like to party? I never thought to look back.
Did it used to work when you did that? Did you used to do that and it worked?
No.
With your past customers and hostesses, would you reach out pretty often where you get reactions from them in the beginning when you made director?
I usually just ask who would want to host. In a party after it closes, I asked everyone that ordered who wants to host, but I don't really like go back, if that makes sense.
So you've never gone back to any of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you made director, what were you doing so great in your business that made you hit director?
Sharing it, showing it.
And what's different now? You're not doing that as much, or you are?
Oh, I am. Yeah, I definitely am.
Is it a different way of sharing, or how are you sharing? How is it different? Because the results aren't the same. So what did you change up?
I don't think I've changed anything.
You're the same amount of posting and
I need to reach out more. Yeah.
Conversations. When you say reach out, what's that mean?
Yeah, from the director's vet, I need to ask more, reach out more. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just find it so interesting because I think a lot of times we can recognize where at one time we all know we were having success. We all know that things were going great. Some sort of behavior or action has to change in order for the results to change. It just doesn't stop by itself, right? The momentum is going regardless if you're putting something in it to keep it going. And so I think if you're trying to get more directors, Lindsay, honestly, you've got to be booking more parties and maximizing that 3 to 4 hours. And I would say start having more one-on-one conversations. I don't know that hopeful posting is going to get you the results that you're wanting. And just because someone's following, I don't know that that's going to get you the result that you're looking for. And I think a lot of times people get blindsided by activity or busyness when it's not really taking you down the road that you need to go down to reach your ultimate goal. I think I'm gonna let another director chime in on that, whoever.
No, I was just gonna say kind of the same thing is, and I was trying to try, as I was listening through that, like, what would you even say that maybe even before, when you feel like you were posting and you were having that engagement and you were getting those results, right? I feel like sometimes that also comes in, were you also commenting more on their stuff? Were you showing up more in their world, in their realm, where maybe they were seeing it more, where, so that's something to also think about, because if we aren't engaging with others in the same way that we want them to engage with us, your stuff might not even be showing for them. So if you're hopeful posting and then, but that engagement on the other side isn't there. And at the same token, Facebook is different. Was it, I didn't catch, did you say it was Facebook? Or
Yeah, I'm
was it
on
both?
mostly
Yeah.
Facebook. Yeah.
Okay, mostly Facebook. So
Mhm.
Facebook doesn't give you that platform to show up in front of other people that you're not friends with. And so if you're not frequently in communities and meeting new people and finding those new people to have within your, Jill explained it best, your home, right? Then you have nobody else in your home that you're sharing your business with. And it's the same people seeing you time after time. And that's where that party aspect comes into your business, is that allows you to meet new people that then have your posts showing in front of more people, right? If we stay within the same little group of people, or we stay within the same community, well, Jamie's story was great, right? Jason challenged her to stay within her community and get those. And there's still opportunity within your community, but especially on Facebook, if that's where you're relying on the same people that you talk to over and over and over again, or that see it over and over and over again, unless you're finding completely new, dynamic, new ways to present the information in front of them, they're not seeing anything new.
Yep.
And so that's, again, tying back around parties, new people, and then of course making sure that you're engaging with those. I know for me, a lot of times what falls in my feed is other Scentsy consultants. That's not going to grow my business, engaging and following other Scentsy consultants, but that's normally what I'm liking and commenting on, right? Or sharing. So yeah, that's
When's the last time you got a recruit, Lindsay? When's the last month you sponsored?
Ooh, it's been a while. Yeah. Probably in the spring.
And then how did you think making director was when you were sponsoring? I mean, what got you to director? Was it sponsoring and those leaders doing well and involved? I mean, how many were you
mostly
sponsoring pretty good back then?
Fair, but it was mostly the PRV. Once we were so close, I was just like so excited, shared everyone, and they're all for it. I mean, and we've hit it ever since. So
Could I say something, Heather?
Yes, please.
Moira, could I?
Yeah, yes, I'm Moira.
Okay, Moira. So when I started Scentsy, shameless shout out, I'm about to celebrate 15 years. But when I started, there was no social media. There wasn't this, and don't get me wrong, it's a wonderful, beautiful outlet to be able to have these opportunities. But sometimes I miss the days of not having that, because I was much more, I look back and see the things that I posted. The conversations that I'm having were more authentic. I was in front of real people. They were getting to see my real emotions, and it definitely, my business looked different. Also though, I am kind of have that old timer brain that sometimes I don't want to grow. I want to do what I'm used to. And I think there's got to be an ebb and flow with that. You got to be able to, we all know that the party system works. However you're partying, getting in front of people, that works. Okay. And forever, I refused to want to do anything with the social media because that was new and I didn't want to do it that way. I can now see that it's a win on both sides of it, to be able to work both, but not rely on one or the other, because they both have plus. And so you kind of got to still have that growth mindset of, this is what worked for a long time.
Yeah.
Be willing to add a little dose of something new that scares you, like Melissa said, getting out of that comfort zone, because if you stay into what feels comfortable, you get entirely too comfortable, and the rebuild is entirely different story than the original build. That momentum is completely different in the rebuild than the original. And I just am speaking from experience that, like, what was I doing then that I'm not doing now? And it's definitely was getting in front of real people and having real conversations. So, you know, got to have that growth mindset, but not rely on one without the other, if that makes sense.
And you're not going to really breathe life into, I was going to say dead fish, but that's really the wrong word. But you know what I'm saying? It's Moira, so all my words are weird. you can't get blood from a turnip. If people are not working their business, you're not going to breathe life into them, no matter how much CPR and mouth to mouth you're giving them. You can't want it more than they want it. You need new blood. You need new people. You need to focus on sponsoring. With you being a military spouse, you are in a gold mine. In a gold mine. You have a huge advantage that most people do not. In my San Diego, my whole fourplex, we were all Scentsy consultants with spousal support groups, military communities, other homeschool groups online. Connect with those people, play groups, do activities together. You've got to get connected and outside of the house. An influx of people, just start meeting people and take advantage of it while you're in that military community. Barbie, did you want something?
Yes.
Yes.
It's funny, no matter what platform you're on, and I loved that Callie said that about my description of Facebook or Instagram, anyone that I'm coaching about being on whatever platform, whether it's YouTube or Snapchat, or my place is Instagram, or if you're still working Facebook still works. But the problem is that we get so consumed with that. We are selling something. So we think that we should sit on our little platform and put a Scentsy sign over our head and just wait there all pretty while people come to us. And one of the biggest tips that I've given anybody is that you need to set up your accounts. You need to make them look like your job is your Scentsy business. And once it's set up and once you're active, I think Melissa and I had this conversation, Heather and I, then 90% of your time should not be posting your content. Yes, that should be a big part of you planning and what you're gonna and how to post and what you're gonna do. But then there should be a good hour if you're working your business using social media, or even, and this goes for in person or on social media, is that you need to be engaging on Instagram on hashtags, finding hashtags that you have in common with people, whether it's Christmas decor, holiday trees, Target runs, and then seeing who's following those hashtags, and you start liking and commenting and, hey, I love your house. Hey, I love your tree. Oh my God, your dog is super cute. Oh, I drink that coffee too. Oh, I'm keto too. Like, and 90% of consultants in any direct sales business, in any business whatsoever, don't do that. They lead with sending a message like, hey, I think you'd be great for my business opportunity. Or, oh, I see you like candles. Would you like, that's just not the way. You would not do that in person to people. Now, if you're still an in-person person, then same thing. You need to be getting out there. You need to be going to networking groups. You need to be taking scent circles to the car wash, not the car wash, you stay in your car, but like, you get the idea, drive-throughs and Starbucks and Target. And Jody did a great post of meeting people and saying, I've enjoyed talking with you today. Like, if you don't show your face and engage with people outside of just Scentsy, no one will get to know you. They won't decide if they like you. They certainly won't trust you. And in the end, they won't buy from you. You have to get off your platform and tell yourself, okay, my Instagram, my Facebook, my car, whatever you have your mobile office or set up. Now I'm going to go talk to people, whether that's typing to people, chatting with people, getting in groups, being on YouTube and seeing someone left you a comment and you comment back. Scentsy should be the 10th thing you lead with, and you should be leading with everything else first, because if you don't do that, if you don't get new faces seeing your business, then new business will never come.
Can I add something that I think fits in here? And girls, if I'm off track on this, you let me know or take over. It's fine. I'm kind of hearing that some people will be like, okay, I post on Facebook and I talk to a few people and that's enough. It's not. I think that you have to figure out a way to make Scentsy a part of everything that you do. So if you're on social media, share on social media. If you're out and about in public, you need to talk to people and new people. Like, I mean, you guys have seen the post. I hand out scent circles just about everywhere I go. Sometimes that leads to customers. Sometimes it doesn't. It may lead to things down the road. I've had that happen plenty of times where they get something and it's a year later and they're like, I felt like this was a sign that I found this. It's not going to just be a post. It's not going to be Facebook or Instagram or, just handing out samples. I think it's a combination of everything that you do consistently and finding the ways that work in your life. And if all you're doing is posting on Facebook, I just don't think that that's enough anymore. I think most people are just so busy scrolling these days that they don't even stop to look at it. But if you're reaching out to your customers with text messages, voice messages, checking in, just saying, hey, I was thinking of you. It doesn't, we've said this 1,000 times. It does not have to be a Scentsy related reach out. It can be thinking of you, or I saw that you got a new dog or whatever. Happy birthday, Merry Christmas, any of those things. They start to build connections with you. And that's where people will, here's a story that maybe will make this all make sense. And I don't think did I share this one last week, where I met a guy and it comes to find out his wife is one of my customers and we didn't know each other. We've never met. I never met him. I never met her. We were just talking at the dirt track. And I started putting a couple of things together that he was saying. And I'm like, so like, what's your last name? And he tells me, I'm like, your wife buys Scentsy from me. And so he calls her right there on the spot. And she's like, oh, she always sends me candy. So without knowing her, without ever even talking to her, probably just a thank you text, she knew that that's what she got from me. So we had already kind of, I don't know if it's building a relationship, but there's a connection there. Like she knows who I am based off my Happy Mail has Skittles and Airheads in them. So you have to find those different ways and that you can be in somebody's life, because one way won't work for this customer or won't work for your business. Like Jill's wildly successful on Instagram. I'm not so much.
Oh, me either.
I find other ways. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Please don't ever think that okay, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, and you have to do this. It's finding all of these ideas that we give you, what works for you, and are you doing them consistently throughout your day, throughout your life, your week, your month? I hope I brought that together. I hope I brought it home.
Go ahead, David.
David? Ew.
Ew, David. I'm way better at Alexis than I am David. Although sometimes I scroll Instagram and David was in my feed with his black glasses on. I was like, oh shoot, is that me? Like I do a double take sometimes. Backing up what Jody said, it's still important though to post. So don't misunderstand what we're saying or what Jody was saying or what any of the girls say. Don't misunderstand that. You still have to have that foundational presence, but your posting is a backup plan, not a business plan. So remember it's part of your business plan. It's not the only business plan. And it's your fundamental or foundational presence. You still want to let people know when there's a sale. You still want to let people know when something is coming. It's up to them to scroll past it or stop. But if you post nothing, you have absolutely zero chance of catching anybody's attention. So you still want to do those things, but you don't want to put every bit of your faith into only one aspect of your business at any given time. So.
Thank you.
And Jody, you look like JoJo Siwa.
I was gonna say, she just needs a JoJo bow.
She does. Totally needs a JoJo bow.
So someone else sent it to me,
You are JoJo Siwa.
Well, perfect.
Chelsea Otto, she's a Superstar director. She's watching on the live over in the Monthly Movement. And she said, I'm listening to live. Advice I'd give for military spouses is to get connected with other direct sales consultants, so not even other Scentsy consultants. Do little pop-ups together. Referrals are huge in a military community. So that was something that she wanted to add from.
Yeah, that's so true. And you can build a really strong business. She's built hers. I mean, when I started doing parties, it was 1,100 square feet. So you can't tell me it was too small. I went out and bought a Jimmy Buffett margarita machine and said, do the Scentsy parties at my house. So every military wife loves to drink and get drunk. I mean, okay, I'm going to find a will. There's a way. So I had the margarita machine and everybody was having Scentsy parties at my house. And then everybody was joining. And we have a huge San Diego. Well, we're all over the place now because you move everywhere. So you've got to find a way. And when Crystal, I was reading your message and trying to juggle everything, I'm going to tell you right now, everybody's getting so overwhelmed with all of the things. You've got to empty your brain out, figure out what you want from your business. Most of you, are you trying to promote to the next level? Is that what you're trying to do? Are you trying to get paid at title? Are you trying to sponsor more? What are you trying to accomplish? The only task you should be focusing on, and back it up then and say, What can I do then to get promoted to the next level? What is it going to take? Well, I can tell you what it starts with, an S. It's always sponsoring. 9 times out of 10, the answer is sponsor more.
Mhm.
And if you're not sponsoring, what are you going to do to change it? Are you not getting in front of enough people? Are you asking one person every month and getting discouraged? You got to increase your odds. You can't win the lottery without buying a ticket. If I buy 25 tickets, I have a better chance at winning. It's the same thing with booking, host, and offering. If you are offering the kit and it's not working, then what do you have to change? Your words. It's the way you're presenting it to it. If I get on here and I'm saying, hey, I'm so glad you love that 6-pack. Want to join my team? No, Moira, I don't want to join your crazy team. You didn't even get to know me first. Get to know me. It's how I talk about every week. On a first date, we're not hopping in the sack. We need to make out a little bit, kiss me on my cheek, first base, second base, third base. Then you're getting the home run. We're not going straight to a home run. That's not okay. You
And
have
if
to
you
go
do, then you got real
slowly.
lucky.
Huh?
You said, and if they do, they got real lucky.
Well, they sell for a different company, not ours. We are going to go slow. We're going to date a little. We're going to hug. We're going to shake hands. We're going to get to know each other. Then we will go and first base, second base, third base. But if it's not working, change your wording. So here's how I've sponsored 6 people this month. And yes, you've heard me correctly, 6. Last month, none. Month before that, 1. Month before that, none. None the month before that. 3 in May. At my event, I made sure I asked everyone, do you spend $200 a year on Scentsy? It's a pretty easy question to ask, wouldn't y'all say? Because why? If they spend $200 a Scentsy, what does that tell you? That means that's all you have to put in to keep a Scentsy account and get paid on your purchases. So every person that came to our booth, we asked them, do you spend $200 a year on Scentsy? Or if they were spending 100 and something, we said, not today, but just so you know, if you ever spend $200 in Scentsy, it's like going to Costco, you buy in bulk, I'm going to reward you. Get 20 in free and 2 half-price items. Well, shoot, I'll do that now. We waited, we let her pick out her stuff. Then they decide, well, I have a $39 join. If you do the $39 join right now, why don't you put this $200 under yourself and you're getting paid? How am I getting the $39 join? Host exclusive starter kit is $59. Every $200 in orders that you're collecting from people, whether it's one person or 52 people buying a scent circle, that doesn't even add up, but you know what I mean. It could be a lot of people making 200 PRV. You have a host exclusive kit to offer and bless somebody with that needs it. You use that $20 host credit and apply it to the $59 host exclusive kit. And guess what? The cost is $39 to them. Now, this is where you have to change it up. When you bring somebody on, you don't rely on them and what they know to start teaching themselves this business. You're the expert. You're the one driving the car. You do their launch party for them, help them, walk them through, get them hitting shooting star within their 15 days so they can use the shooting star kit to make samples for sample packs for their parties. If you teach people to party, they will build their business partying. If you teach someone to build it on individual orders or post something and wait for somebody to come knocking on your door, I'll buy a 6-pack from you, Moira. Or I'm going to join your team, Moira. How often does that happen? No, you have to ask people. You have to follow up. You've got to get out there and seek and find what you're looking for. It's not just going to come a knocking.
Heather, can we put on the spot Terry Newman, who just posted in the chat that this has been her commitment? In 2021, this has been her commitment. She sponsored 22 new team members. It's gold. Terry, would you pop on with us really quick?
Sure. I just finished working. I'm so gross. I love getting on here with you guys, but I work on Thursday nights. Yes, I only wrote that because any of you and many of you know me well. You know, I'm not one to kind of talk and say like, oh, I did this or whatever, but I thought I would put that to piggyback on what Heather said, because I made a very intentional change this year with the sponsoring, very intentional. I feel like I've ran a good business. I always work very hard. I don't always get paid at title over the years, and it's very frustrating to me, as I'm sure some of you understand. But that being said, it was like the year I made a commitment to a follow-up system and my PRV goals. And then I hit annual sales every year after that. That's not a mistake. Like when you tell yourself, I'm going to do this, this is my intention, and you actually put the muscle into it, it happens. So at the beginning of this year, I was like, I need to change my verbiage. So much of what all of you were saying, change my verbiage. As far as I'm concerned, we have a join promo going at all times because of that. And I pretty much, I always did parties. I've pretty much done the model. I've always done party planning model, not a big events girl. I had 3 little kids when I started. I've had lots of irons in the fires. I have other professions. And so I was like, why aren't I getting these hostesses deliberately to 500? And then I started this option 1, option 2 verbiage. And it's kind of like, do you want what's behind door number 1, or do you want what's behind door number 2? And it was basically, you can have $75 worth of credit and 3 half-off items, or you can have a starter kit for free, $16 plus in credit, 4 half-off items, and I'm going to put over $120 in your pocket. And the reaction every time is, wait, what? Like they almost don't even, they're like, what? Now, of course, you're going to get no's sometimes, you guys, but if I'm honest with myself, after 13 years at Scentsy, I for sure wasn't saying all that. No, I wasn't, because I looked at how many recruits I had in 2021. I was like, I might get mentor this year. And I have never even tried or thought I could get it. Honestly, I'm just being true. And I thought, oh my God, is that really how many I sponsored? And here's the sweet spot. When they start off the bat earning shooting star and they're only that much closer to certified, they shoot out of the cannon. And I know when I first started, I was always like, yeah, you can do whatever. And I was always just so like gentle about it. And now I'm still just myself. I'm never pushy. I'm not being icky. I just say, hey, listen, if you do this, this, and this, you're going to get this, this, and this. And if you want that, I'll help you do it. But you're halfway there. So it was just a matter of changing my words around and getting those hostesses. I just had this conversation, actually, Heather, I just had this conversation with another team member today. And I told her, I go, really, you have to have parties. You have to have hostesses, because you have to have new people to introduce you to a bunch of new people. Like you need to do a fundraiser so that you have 25 new customers or 100 new customers. But the more hosts you guys can get, any kind of host, that's where it's going to go. That's where it's going to go. I tell my team, your friends and family are the frosting on your cake. You have to bake your cake. You have to bake your cake, and it's not your friends and family. That is like, those were your first support systems, and then they become the sprinkles. So you have to get new hostesses, and then you have to maybe change your verbiage. And that's the only, I don't know that it was magic. I think I just finally committed to it is what happened. That's all.
Thank you, Tara. And we're super proud of you. Congratulations. That's a huge, awesome accomplishment and achievement. So great job.
So I saw something in here that I definitely want to squash real quick. And it's just kind of like going through the chat. I can't even talk. And that was everybody, like, there's so many consultants where I live. There's so many people in my area, right? I think that's like we want to use that as a thing. But then if we think, okay, and I'm going to be on social media and I'm sharing on social media, then there are no city boundaries. There are no street boundaries. There are no boundaries, right, of meeting new people. And what I would also say, and I would ask, is if you go into any store that's like a major Walmart, Target, Walgreens, Rite Aid, I mean, you go into Saks, you go into Dillard's, you go into anywhere, how many brands of makeup are there? And they're all sitting on the shelf right next to each other. Are they saying this is saturated? Are they saying, oh, well, there's too many other makeup brands. We might not release this new mascara because why would we do that? Right. Saturation is a myth. Saturation is something that we tell ourselves, and no offense if it feels like that, but to make ourselves feel better, because we're like, oh, well, there's so many consultants, or I saw it on this license plate, or I saw on this car. But really, it was interesting because Heather did some math yesterday for a consultant, and she was basically like, every person that you know has a circle of 250 people on average, right? Mm-hmm. And if you take that, nobody has the same circle of 250 people, even if you're in a small town. The small town that we were from, we had actually, was it Kara or Colette? One of their cousins lived in a small city over, and they were already a top leader. So could we have just said, oh, well, there's already a consultant over there that's a big leader, let's go ahead and move along? No. And to continue along that, in our small community, we had multiple star directors, multiple directors, multiple super star directors. And then years later, moving out of that community, spending time in different places, we had another leader come on, and she had been in that community literally a mile down the street from my mom's house, and is a star director and is building her business. So I think that we have to let that go. There's never going to be enough consultants. There's never going to be saturation in your area. And with the internet, we're worldwide, baby. Like, never box yourself in.
Yeah, take your town's population and divide it by how many consultants you think. And just because you see a sticker on the car, don't mean they're working their business. I mean, just because you see a bra
I
on
don't
the
have
rack,
a
don't
sticker
mean
on
I'm
my
wearing
car.
it. Huh?
I don't have a sticker on my car.
I have the little emblem on the bottom. I don't even have to do that anymore. You know why? Because I'm consistent. I literally have a customer base with follow-up that I don't even need a decal on my car anymore. I'm giving you people, customers, if you come to Pearland and move. Something else I want to talk to you about, but if they are my customer, I take dang good care of mine. So they're very loyal. You better watch out. And if you don't want to ask them, guess who is asking them? I mean, we're sponsoring in Pearland all the time here. And it doesn't get any closer than, seriously, my fourplex, all 4 Scentsy consultants in the 4 connected houses and 2 around another block. So 7 of us in 1 block radius. We never once stepped on anybody's toes. What I would tell you is you need to start making a frank list. You want my honest opinion? It's you that's holding you back, because if I am selling thousands of dollars every month and hundreds of thousands of consultants are selling every single month and you're not, what's the problem here? Honestly, it's not the product. You've got to change your pattern. You've got to change what you're doing. Straight up, like no BS. That's what it is. So if you are not sponsoring and you are scared to sponsor, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're running a sales business and you are so focused on sales and selling a 6-pack or selling a warmer, or you maybe don't think that you've made enough money to sponsor yet, your money, the bulk of my paycheck is in sponsoring. If you want to keep where you're at, I use the analogy of you're in a canoe. You have 1 oar. Just one. Where are you going? In circles. You're a dog chasing the tail. If you're selling and that's all you're doing, this is your business forever until you decide to sponsor and get another oar where you can start going places. Because whatever you sell, it's up to you. No one's going to send you a postcard and say, don't forget to sell 200 this month. Here's your little carrot. I'm going to send you a text to remind you, do you want to sell a 6-pack today? No one's doing that for me. You've got to decide, I need to make sales this month. If I want to get paid, I got to make sales, right? All of y'all are doing that. But here's the problem with the canoe with 1 oar or a kayak. I don't care, whichever you prefer. You're writing your own paycheck every single month. You're determining how much money you want to make. It's not going to increase unless you sell 2,000 in 1 month, which you should be doing, right? 2,000 PRV, sponsoring 2. Jen's famous plan that works. But that's the only way you're getting the 5% bonus and making the 30% commission. If you want possibilities to have an endless income and get paid on leadership, you have to start sponsoring. Plain and simple. There is no circumstance that's going to be stopping you from sponsoring but you. It's your mouth that has to absolutely be offering the opportunity to people. And the faster you can get that and the light bulb go off. So they say you have to hear things like 7 times before you retain it. You need to sponsor. 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 I said it 8 times, so it's sunk in now. Now we're offering these host exclusive starter kits because this is where the opportunity lies for you to seriously change the direction of your business. But if you're happy where you're at, just doing sales and writing what your own paychecks want to be, then continue your sales business because that's exactly all it is. Row, row, row your boat.
And in case you need one more, you just need a sponsor.
I'm pretty sure we need to sponsor. Is that the answer?
Is
I
that
think
what
that's in my fortune cookie.
Probably just ask people if they want to join.
So I want to share another story too, because you remember how I told you guys, like sometimes you shouldn't prejudge the answer. Jamie, was that what you said today too? Like don't answer the question before you've even given them the chance to answer. And I told y'all I was doing a home party and she probably wouldn't join because she's wealthy. I was wrong. She joined.
Wait, but no, Jody, that's not the whole story.
Well, okay, what's the whole story?
Jody got on and said, I have a home party in years, my first one in years. I am so nervous. I am so scared. I go, you're going to get her to join. Oh no, she's not going to join. She's a millionaire. That was the real story.
Okay. So kind of like what Terry did, she's a friend of mine and we talked, her party was just over $1,000 with outside orders and whatever. And I was like, hot damn, this felt good because, hey, I haven't done a home party in 3 years. And I certainly haven't had $1,000 party in a hot minute. And I told her what she could get. But when I presented the opportunity to her, I said, would you or your daughter, her name is Amanda. I said, do either you or Amanda want this before I close it out? This is what you would get. She hesitated, zero hesitation and joined right away. Well, of course, her husband, he's going to give me a hard time because again, they don't need the money, but they are business people, right? They own their own business. So when he started yapping in my ear at a party this weekend, I'm like, okay, let me put it to you this way. You're a businessman and you like to make money. The bottom line is she just made $250 commission. She just got 4 half price items. She just got, I don't even know, it was $140 or something in free product. So you tell me how she lost on this deal, plus all of the stuff in the starter kit. And guess what happened? You shut right up because you can't fight with the facts. You cannot fight with, that's a hell of a good deal. And so it's much like what Terry did. You just kind of changed your verbiage, find out how it feels more natural to you or in that specific conversation with that person and go with it. Because when you show people what they're going to get, automatically they see it differently. They have no idea what we're going to make. They don't know if we go do a $1,000 party that I just made, $250 on that. Right. That's a lot of money for people for 2 hours worth of work.
Yeah.
Show them.
And what was so cool to watch Jody, so nervous, didn't believe in herself, scared.
Always.
But this was why I wanted her to share this part of the story. She was terrified on Zoom. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get bookings? Preparing literally on Zoom before she leaves for the party.
Yeah.
And look what happened. Like she got reignited again. Like this was so much fun. Like she had a successful party and somebody that she assumed or thought wouldn't be interested joined. I have had dentists, I have had lawyers, I have had people that do not need the money at all. Not everybody joins for money. Some people want to join for tax write-off purposes. Some people just want to have friends.
Mm-hmm.
So you just never know.
So again, it shows you guys how you see things or how you might be feeling is probably not any different from any of us. And we've been around a long time. Like, and you just have to remember when something is scary, and I'm not saying dangerous, because there's a difference between having fear of something that can hurt you and fear of something that has no danger involved. Those are different. So don't ever mistake this. But if you're afraid to ask that person to join, if you're afraid to come on Zoom, if you're afraid to go live, if you're afraid to speak up at a convention, you need to ask yourself, what is the worst thing that's going to happen? I'm going to forget something. I'm going to stutter. but what's the best thing that could happen if you do it anyway? If you find the courage to do the thing that scares you or the thing that you don't have the confidence that you think you don't have the confidence to do, and you dig really deep and find the courage, what is the best thing that could happen from it? First of all, you're going to practice, and practice always makes everything easier and better. So that's a win-win right there, but you're going to learn to be more confident in those areas. And you'll struggle along the way. Like Heather just blew me out of the water with big fat crybaby over here. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I did it. It went well. I had fun. I remembered why I started this business. So you guys are never alone, never alone. Do not ever let our titles think that we are someplace higher than you or better than you or more experienced than you or unafraid. None of that's true, especially with 7 of us, okay? We're pretty freaking down to earth, and we'll be as honest with you guys as we possibly always can be. So you're never alone. So
I think the only difference between any of us is the income producing activities and the amount of effort you're putting in. And I'll tell you, I put in a lot of effort. I work my arse off.
On the right thing.
Yeah, I do. And you have to do the right things because I'm working towards my goal, right? So I make sure I'm very intentional on sponsoring. That's the thing that's going to change my business. Yeah.
Perfect. We are at the top of the hour, my friends, already.
Dang.
I know.
Okay, can we just vote really quick? Should we do costumes every week?
No.
Harry Newman says yes.
Harry's over there like, yeah.
Harry Newman is like, yes.
I cannot. This was so stressful.
Jody did 3 costume changes because the first one was not good.
Can I show y'all what the first one should have
Please
been?
do.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Wait, you have to turn your screen off.
I'm doing it. Hold on. Okay, now hold on a minute. Can someone turn it back on for me or no? I can't.
I think you have to give permission.
All right, ready?
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
It is pretty funny though.
Okay, what was I supposed to be?
If you answered every question in that would have been
That was
funny.
the only one I did. I had all yellow on. This was
No.
before.
It was like a yellow green shirt with a yellow something on top. Like it wasn't even like real yellow.
I was Dave or Kevin, but no, I had to go be Josie Siwa or whatever her name is. And my dog ate my damn tissue paper. Like
That was a sign. She got up and look, the dog chewed her costume. It was a sign.
Tallulah. She bad.
She bad dog.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
All right, guys.
I hope you're
Happy Halloween.
Be
So much
safe.
fun.
Have a way to share your Scentsy business and your trick and treating.
Yes.
And
Christmas starts
yeah,
November
what's the
1st.
date?
Now I have to go wash my face so I can go out to eat because I'm sure not going like this.
Why you should, that'd be hilarious.